Kobe Bryant has hit 2 quick shots. His third offering off the rim. He has hit a 3. He has hit a 2. Utah in 2 trips has turned it over both times. This their 3rd possession. Bryant battling back spasms. It's out of bounds. It's off the Los Angeles Lakers. And for our TNT audience, Doug, that has just joined us, Kobe Bryant has had a couple days of rest. He has had stimulation on that back. What do you think? It was the first 2 shots he's taken have gone in. 3rd one missed, but he appears to be okay to start this game.
It'll be interesting to see as the game wears on. Does fatigue become a factor? Does that back spasm again? So this game's a long way, to be played here. It's another turnover, so a very poor start for the Utah Jazz.
And that's the 3rd. Then Fisher has it knocked away, and Brewer will take it in as Bryant lets him coast for the deuce.
One of the things that's happened with the Jazz in both games here in LA, Kevin, they have played from behind. They've gotten behind by double digits in the first half and really never been able to dig themselves out of that. So it's important for them to get off to a good start and play with the lead.
It's Fisher over Williams for 3. That's the 2nd 3-point hit by the Los Angeles Lakers to begin tonight.
Derek Fisher now 10 for 15 from the 3-point line in this series. Remember those 3 he hit in a row, 77 seconds span in game 4 that almost stole that game for the Lakers.
Part of a 4 or 5 display, like you say, for the 3. Karolinko gets Brewer and Doug. They let him run wild down that baseline.
Well, you can see the Lakers really gambling there, scrambling their defense, and what they're trying to do is disrupt the rhythm of this Utah Jazz team. This is a team that they shoot 50%, they get 25 assists and get to that foul line. They're tough to beat, and that's what happened in the 2 games in Utah.
Odom was left open inside. Boozer tried to get at him, as did Okur. And a quick Utah foul with 9:18 to play in the first. Boozer picks up his first foul of the game.
Now, if you're a Laker fan, you have to love this start. Odom is involved. Kobe Bryant's hit a couple shots. Derek Fisher's hit a 3. They're in a very good offensive rhythm, and Lamar Odom's coming off a terrific game 4, Kevin. 10 of 18, 26 points, 13 rebounds. Played very, very well. Hit a big 3 late in that game to help send that game into overtime. But his speed and quickness causes so many problems for that Utah Jazz front line.
And having dug a better overall series in the 2nd round than he did the 1st round against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, that 1st round, he struggled a little bit, but he's the kind of guy. Oh, there's another wide open play. Nobody communicating there. Romanovich and Kobe. So we've seen Brewer now get 3 dunks basically to start this game. He's the only one who scored, and all 3 of them have been dunks.
Williams with another assist on the play. Odom inside. Gasol had it knocked away. Great rejection inside. Karolinko with the block. Brewer the other way into Radmanovich at the other end.
Well, they have gathered themselves very well right now after a shaky start. Utah now playing good basketball, and it's going to be up to the Los Angeles Lakers to come down here and execute their offense.
Karolinko with that long reach. We're back on Kobe. Gasol with the screen. The defensive switch. Odom slips inside. And out of bounds. 6 seconds on the shot clock, and a good defensive stand for the Utah Jazz.
Darren Williams there looking inside. No communication. Ronnie Brewer wide open, so he has 3 dunks and a layup to start this game. I would consider those very high percentage shots. It's a foul on Radmanovich, who just reached out and grabbed Karolinko by his arm. I don't know what he could be complaining about on that play, and we're going to have to keep our eye on Radmanovich. He has not played well, and he's going to have a short leash tonight, Kevin. I mean, if he doesn't get it done, look for Phil Jackson to go to Luke Walton. He wants to keep Luke Walton coming off that bench, but Radmanovich has really been struggling. In the game the other night, 1 of 6 in 14 minutes, only 2 points.
And he just right there picked up his first personal foul. Boozer has to stay out of foul trouble tonight. Deflected out of bounds by Fisher. The shot clock at 6 as we welcome in David Aldridge. David, good evening.
Good evening, Kevin. As Derek Fisher said of his teammate Kobe Bryant, he can be secretive and a chameleon when it comes to disclosing his injuries. But after the last 2 days of round-the-clock treatments, he says his back is much improved. I talked to him briefly before the game, gave me the thumbs up. He said he's ready to go, guys.
All right, thank you. It was almost a shot clock violation. It was. It eventually was ruled that by Tom Washington as they went inside. But Doug, for a second, as we feed off of David's report, you had no question that Bryant would be ready to go and raring to play tonight.
Absolutely not. I mean, this guy is one of the best competitors in the NBA. The question is going to be, though, if that back locks up on him, I mean, what it's going to do to affect his play. You can see him right now just sort of playing in the flow. We haven't seen any of those contortionist drives that we see him make during the course of the game.
Here he tries to spin one up on Brewer, and Kobe with a terrific start. 3 of 4 from the field. He's coming off a fourth quarter in overtime. You mentioned this before, 2 of 13, so he's really bucked that and started well tonight. Okur, Brewer. With the switch, he goes up against Gasol. That means now that Odom is on Okur, and Odom now goes and doubles Williams. Gasol left to cover Okur. He stepped out of bounds as he drove the baseline. Another Utah turnover.
I talked to Mehmet Okur a little bit before the game as we see Kobe Bryant here just taking his time and using that dribble, that great footwork, the pump fake, and gets into that shot so beautifully. But Mehmet Okur has not practiced the last couple of days, and I think he's going to be a little rusty to start this game. Jerry Sloan said he's the guy who needs practice.
Doug just said that Radmanovic came off a 1 of 6 game on the 4th game of this contest. Nails an uncovered shot right there. They're going to let him shoot that shot because he's had such a dismal series.
Well, you've got to help somewhere, and Lamar Odom is playing so well. Derek Fisher shooting the 3 ball so well. You've got Gasol inside. So right now, the one guy you might help off of is Radmanovic, and he buried the shot. And the Lakers off to a great start here tonight offensively. The Jazz already with 5 turnovers. And then we're going to see tonight, does Utah, if this is a close game in the fourth quarter, they think they can win, but do they believe? Can they come in this building where they've lost 4 times by double digits this year and find a way to get a win?
Odom defending on Okur. Odom grabbed the loose ball, and here comes Fisher. That's the 2nd turnover. Utah hasn't led. 8 points by Brewer leading the Jazz. 7 by Kobe, including a 3 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Utah 4 of 5 from the field. Again, establishing Okur into Odom. Snapping it outside. They double down low. They sag right there. The open shot on the 2 by Brewer goes astray. So you're kind of getting a feel for how Los Angeles wants to guard that lane. And Doug, here you're talking about the lack of success for the Jazz in Los Angeles.
And only one guy on this Jazz team has ever come in here in a playoff game and beaten the Lakers, and that is Mehmet Okur when he was playing for the Detroit Pistons, and they went on to win the championship that year.
Lakers are 60% from the floor. 6 of 10. Again, right down the lane, Williams tried to feed. It ricochets out of bounds, and 6:06 to play here in the first quarter.
When you played the Utah Jazz, you'd like to get as many bodies of that paint as possible. Take away all those paint passes and make them be a perimeter jump shooting team. Here's Darren Williams off the well-executed inline out-of-bounds play. But you want to take away Carlos Boozer's roll to the basket, any of those lane opportunities, and make them shoot long jump shots.
Of course, had a great screen on that last play. They switch on defense. Karolinko on Kobe. That means Williams is on Fisher with a drive and a foul.
Well, if that's on Boozer, that'll be his 2nd, and that's been a problem this whole series in Los Angeles. Both of those games.
Doug Williams picks up the foul. That's the first on him.
That's an important play right there because Carlos Boozer in both of the games here has been taken out because of foul trouble, a lot like what happened to Derek Fisher for the Los Angeles Lakers in game 3 and 4 in Utah.
Fisher at the line. I know, Doug, you are a big chemistry guy, and you thought that when Fisher was re-injected into this Los Angeles team in the offseason, chemistry again became a very good word in Los Angeles.
I think a big part of that was he had been through 3 championships with Kobe Bryant. There was a tremendous trust there. So when the season started out in such turmoil with this roster and all that was going on there, Derek Fisher was that voice of reason that Kobe Bryant could always listen to.
All 10 of Utah's points have come from their guards. Williams, who's got 2. Fisher defending. Screen by Okur. The switch on defense. Odom. Inside Brewer. Dougie keeps sneaking free off that baseline. Nobody is covering. And Brewer, the first player in this game in double figures with 10.
Well, Kobe's roaming defensively off Brewer, and he sort of made him pay here a few times. So Kobe's going to have to be a little bit more aware. He's a first-team all-league defender. Here's a layup on a give and go to Radmanovic. But Kobe's roaming right now, helping out on Boozer and Darren Williams and these guys. He's losing vision, and Brewer's sneaking around behind him, and he has 5 layups and dunks in this game, basically.
Williams to Boozer. Boozer with the rebound over Odom. And a Los Angeles foul called inside at the 4:59 mark of this first quarter. Radmanovich picks up his second for LA.
You see him coming from that weak side. That's what Utah does. When talking to Jerry Sloan before the game, he said, you know, when you get into the playoffs, you can't just go to option A. You got to get to option B and to option C, and that's what's happened in Utah in games 3 and 4. They got to the backside of their offense. They didn't quick shoot the ball. As a result, they shot over 50% in both of those games.
Good point. Let's check the national TV schedule tomorrow. ESPN, New Orleans at San Antonio, Game 6 coverage 8 Eastern. Sunday, ABC, Cleveland-Boston, Game 7, or the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1. Regardless, coverage at 3 Eastern. Here is Boozer, Doug, coming off a 15-point, 12-rebound performance. Not great numbers scoring, but as Jerry Sloan will tell you, he did a lot of things to make it a successful day.
Well, the reason a lot of those guys got the shots they did is because of Boozer. They're so concerned about him getting in that lane and getting those easy scores.
Kobe 3 of 5, and here's Radmanovich. Long shot over Kirilenko, the rebound by Brewer, the outlet to Williams. The second leading assist man in the playoffs in the NBA. Wide open Kirilenko. Radmanovich slow to rotate. He knocks down the 2. Radmanovich let him fire right there.
Made the extra pass, got the wide open look. Tough matchup here for Carlos Boozer. The quickness of Lamar Odom, when he uses that, that's what gets him in foul trouble on many occasions. He just can't match that first step that Odom gets going to the basket.
Kirilenko is watching with the double right there by Boozer. Brewer now, the mismatch with Radmanovich, and a long three. Good! Radmanovich puts it in from outside, the former free agent from Seattle, who has struggled mightily, averaging 2 less points in double digits. Different in terms of field goal percentage, lower than what he did in the regular year.
I get a sense he's heard Phil Jackson's voice over the last couple of days.
I think you're right.
That baritone voice of Phil Jackson, I think, has been in his ear. He's off to a great start here tonight.
Williams on the defense of Kobe Bryant. The rebound by Lamar Odom, who gathers in his second. And here comes Odom out of Rhode Island. Corkscrew on Boozer. Outside Radmanovich. Vladdy Radmanovich has found his stroke tonight with the defense by the shorter Brewer defending for Utah. LA, Doug, has gone 4 of 5 shooting the 3 ball. Rejected by Gasol, and the shot by Williams picked up by Fisher. Here comes LA to the hands of Gasol. Vacuumed in by Okur. And here comes Darren Williams. He's 1 of 3, met by the defense of Fisher. Kirilenko, Kobe lets him fire. Down for the deuce.
So Kirilenko quietly has had 5 straight double-digit games in this series. Everybody talks about Williams and Boozer and Okur. The Lakers are going to get a timeout here, but Kirilenko's had a couple games where he's had 5 blocks in each game. He's had double figures in 5 straight games, and he had been very quiet since game 1 of that Houston series where he was the star of the game with 21 points. But Vladdy Radmanovich here, 4 of 5. He has 10 points, and I think you see a little relief there, a little joy. And win a big game and steal the home court and really put the pressure on that team now to come and win a game in your building. Now remember, Utah did lose a game at home against Houston in the first round.
Harpering is in. Korver is in. Taking the place of Kirilenko and Ronnie Brewer. Those are the substitutions for the Utah Jazz with 2:45 to play here in the first. And we have a hard foul. Millsap is also checked in for the Utah Jazz.
See, those are the kind of plays right there when Kobe is in the air going for a pass, you know, that you put yourself in peril a little bit when you've had back spasms and you come down wrong, you know, that back could seize up on you again. So those are the kind of plays that cause you problems with a bad back.
Okur, the starter, has also gone on the Utah bench. Harper guarding Kobe, who's missed now a couple in a row after hitting his first 2. Harpering is the 3rd different defender that Kobe Bryant has seen tonight. 10 from Radmanovich leading the Lakers. 10 from Brewer leading the Jazz. Here comes Boozer out of Duke over Gasol. Pretty shot by Carlos Boozer with a foul after the game, after the play, and it goes on Lamar Odom, who gave a pretty hard shove. Or was it Harpering?
I think it might have been on Kobe Bryant throwing down Matt Harpering.
It was Bryant, and it was number 1 on Kobe.
And watch Kobe here now is in their picture here as Harpering comes in, and
right.
Kobe just gives him a little shove down, and now Harpering is so critical to this team. He really struggled in the 2 games here could not make a shot, never got into the game. You see in the losses here, look what he did in the wins. 8 for 8 from the foul line, and he was a big part of that fourth quarter the other day when they went on that 11-5 run to give them a 10-point cushion, and they were able to hold the Lakers off and win that game in overtime. But this guy brings toughness. He's another guy you can put out to play against Kobe, so you can have Harper and Korver, Brewer and Kirilenko giving him 3 or 4 different looks and just make Kobe work hard on every possession.
Walton has come in for Radmanovic. Turioff has come in for Gasol. The 2 changes by the LA Lakers. Here is Williams, guarded by Fisher. Williams 1 of 3. Millsap, last time he played here, 17 points and 10 rebounds in game 2. He's driving on Odom, picked up by Kobe Bryant. The backpedaling Korver with the defense. Got a hand on it and drew the foul. How scary is that going to be? Backpedaling with Kobe racing down court. You're just praying that you get a hand on the ball. Foul goes on Korver for the first time. And, you know, we've already seen 3 different defenders, Doug, guarding Kobe Bryant.
And this is what Tracy McGrady looked at in the first round, the ultimate D, the strong body of Harper, the quick feet of Ronnie Brewer, the long arms and ranginess of Andre Kirilenko, and then the smarts and the basketball IQ of Kyle Korver. So these are the 4 different looks, and they're hoping that somewhere down the road that they're going to be able to slow him down when the game is in the balance. That happened in game 4. I talked about it before, Kevin. He was 2 of 13 in the fourth quarter and in overtime, but he was brilliant passing the ball in that fourth quarter. That was sort of overshadowed. He had 6 assists in that fourth quarter. 4 of them were for 3-point shots to Fisher and to Lamar Odom.
Boozer 1 of 2, guarded by Turioff. He's been terrific off the bench, including knockaways like that. The diving Fisher picked up by Turioff. Ahead it goes to Kobe, 3-on-3. Millsap goes with the defensive play and makes the steal. He was on Kobe, then he drifted down low and took it away. Korver launching a 3 over Walton. Right down the middle.
That's the shots that Kyle Korver hits from 3-point range in this team. We saw it in the Houston series. Remember, he had back-to-back threes in a big game on the road when they went up 2-0 in that series. And he's a guy who really loves to get out and spot up where you can't find him in that open floor.
Utah's first 3-point attempt as Odom got it. Millsap was defending down low and picks it up. That will be on Millsap out of Louisiana Tech, his second. The Lakers tonight, Doug, have knocked down 4 threes. As we just said, Utah 1 of 1 from beyond the arc. And we were talked about this a couple nights ago in Cleveland as we're seeing mass substitutions now by both teams. Bench on the road versus bench at home. What's more valuable?
Well, bench at home, and we saw that. That's why it's going to be interesting, because the Utah bench was so vital in that win the other day. And now you come in tonight, and Jordan Farmar, I mean, he has really been struggling in this series. They need him because Fisher had gotten in foul trouble. And in this series, he's 1 of 16, and he's 0 of 4 from the 3-point line. He was such a big part of their team this year. He and Vujacic coming off the bench, Luke Walton, Turioff. And this bench at the high point this year, they had a 73-point game off the bench. They had a 65-point game, 63. So this is a very potent bench. And normally at home they play well. Let's see tonight what happens.
Price has come in for Darren Williams. And Collins has just come in for Millsap, now on the bench with a couple fouls, as we said, for the Utah Jazz. Farmar is on Price. Korver is tailed by Kobe. Now Walton is on Korver. Rebound by Odom. 50 seconds to play in this first quarter. Utah at 62%, 60% shooting by the Lakers. Walton's had a good playoff. Price comes up on Farmar. Walton over Korver. Inside finding Bryant, who stepped out of bounds. A Laker turnover. They've got 5. Utah has 7 first quarter turnovers so far.
Well, you're looking at Phil Jackson, and Luke Walton will not look over at him because Phil wanted him to shoot the ball. That's 2 turnovers now from Luke Walton there to start this game.
Lakers have a foul to give. A rejection by Turioff on the shot by Price and picked up by Boozer. It's hovering inside. Pulls the trigger over Odom.
And there's a 5.5-second differential, so if they can get a stop here, maybe a score. They come out of this quarter only 2 down. Even if they're 4 down, the Lakers have outplayed them, and they're hanging around.
Unexpected 10 points from Radmanovic, who's had a horrible shooting slump in these first 2 rounds, but a quick start tonight for the Lakers. Harpering is on Bryant. Doug said the difference of 4 seconds game and shot clock. Bryant was bumped, the ball jarred free, picked up by Price. Here's Korver over Farmar into Boozer by Odom. The buzzer sounded. It was a foul on the play, and Boozer will go to the line as Odom Dog is tagged with his first foul.
And it was turnovers early by Utah, and now it's the Lakers who've turned the ball over. They have 6 turnovers now in this first quarter, of which the Utah Jazz have 9 points. So Kevin, once again, when you look at the Lakers, they shoot the ball 60%. They're 4 of 5 from the three-point line. The Boozer knocks both of these down. It's only a 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter. So not a good finish for the Los Angeles Lakers. And if Boozer makes these 2 free throws, a very strong finish by the Jazz.
Last game we were here, Doug, all we did was talk about free throw attempts because it was such a dominant story the first 2 games of the series. Now tonight, Utah has started 2 of 3 from the line. The Lakers a perfect 7 of 7. They're checking the time here as Steve Janvey to see if the shot got away before the buzzer sounded, and it did. So the free throws will be coming up for Boozer.
Well, when you play Utah, you better be strong because they're going to knock you around. They commit 24 fouls a game in the regular season, so you shoot on the average in the regular season 30 free throws a night. Problem was in game 1, they played out of character. They reached too much. They used their hand too much, and you see what happened in the Lakers. Their free throws made in game 1, 38-21 out of 23 by Kobe, 35. So they had 73 free throws made to 35 for the Jazz in the first 2 games. Now you go to Utah and you see in game 4 how that turned around, 37-14. But the key to playing the Lakers and Kobe is you got to play him tough, but you don't want to do a lot of reaching and go for his pump fakes and put him on the line.
Foul was committed at 1-1. So Boozer will be at the free throw line, and Doug, you talked about this before. The first 2 games here in Los Angeles, foul trouble. That's something that, although he has 1 already in this game, something Boozer cannot get in if Utah wants a chance in this one.
I think it's important for Boozer to walk up to the line now and make his free throws because, you know, he's been, you know, not involved really much in the offense here. He's only taken 2 shots, but Jerry Sloan said in game 4 he was so important. He had 12 defensive rebounds, and early in that game triggered their running game, and they really got out, had a great first quarter. They scored 31 points in that first quarter and had a 55-point first half. And Boozer and Okur were only 2 for 12 in that first half, so they were able to put up 55 points with those guys being very quiet.
First quarter has come to a close. Well, they're interesting statistics. Both teams are shooting well. +6 in the paint for the Jazz after 1. Lakers led by 9. Utah closes the first quarter on a 10-4 run. At the end of 1 in game 5, the Lakers and Kobe by 3.
Jerry, how do you think you guys recovered after the turnovers that started the first quarter?
Well, obviously, Kobe came out, was red hot. We did a very poor job at least getting up on him. We never got up on him enough to even give him any competition. I thought after we changed it around, Andre got up and guarded him a little bit more. And I thought the biggest thing with us is we still have to try to execute our offense better. We're still taking some tough shots.
Well, how do you get your guys to slow down offensively and get through the entire?
I don't have a problem pushing the ball up the floor because Darren has an opportunity to get on top of the basket. We run the floor well, but we walk to our spots on the other end. It doesn't give us much of a chance to at least let him be able to break the pressure.
Thank you, Jerry.
Good stuff, David. Thank you. Starting the second quarter, Jaron Collins out there. Millsap has a couple fouls, so he's on the bench. O'Toole and Harper. Here's Korver, Price, the 5 out there for Utah. Shot clock at 4. Farmar watching Price. Rebounded by Jaron Collins, so they get the offensive board, who feeds Carver, and Korver lost the ball. It's picked up by Walton. Out there with Gasol, Vujacic, Farmar, and Turioff. Vujacic over Collins for 3. The rebound offensively by Turioff. Walton's got it. Farmar. Harpering watches Walton. Farmar over Harpering on the defensive switch. Gasol's right there. Okur did not block him out.
Well, Okur gave up 2 offensive rebounds on that possession, and we have to watch him. We talked about his Achilles being sore. He's not practiced for a couple days, and he's going to have to get himself involved in this game here quickly.
Kyle Korver on the fly, picked up by Turioff. Rebound by Price, rejected by Gasol, picked up by Korver, saved by Vujacic, grabbed by Collins. New shot clock. Harpering over the smaller Farmar. Rebound by Vujacic, and a loose ball foul. It's called inside, and it goes on L.A. with the clock at 10:40 here in the second quarter. And Ronnie Turioff has picked up his first dunk.
I think Jerry Sloan was seeing what I was seeing. frenetic play. I mean, he's bringing Darren Williams back into the game right now because Ronnie Price was so excited when he was in there. He played so well in game 4, but he was playing so frenetically that the team was doing the same. Let's see if Darren Williams can settle him down here and gets him an open shot. But Utah's got to calm down here.
Millsap has come back in the game, and a turnover for the Utah Jazz. So, Doug, the Jazz with 9 turnovers, the Lakers with 6. Utah has started this second quarter 0 of 5 in a series, Doug, that has had 1 lead change in the first 4 games and now 1 quarter.
And now it's happened here tonight. So when you get the lead, no teams are coming back. And this,
Farmer's right.
Farmer. The lid is off the basket for this young guy. He was 1 for 17 before he knocked that shot down. Actually 0 4 from 3, so he knocked down that long jumper. Let's see if that relieves him a little bit, relaxes his game.
Korver with the screen, Okur with an open 3. So he answers how that day of non-practice because of an Achilles issue would affect him. That's a big shot for him.
Well, you see that Gasol is playing him, and Gasol is not good at playing out on the perimeter, so he's going to step out and shoot his own little jump shot there that doesn't even ripple the net. That ball went through so cleanly.
Gasol has started 2 of 3. And Williams the other way. He's got 6 assists and 2 points. Farmar on him. Vujacic picks up Korver. Williams over Farmar. And a foul. I love what you said about Williams. Early in the game in your keys, Doug, he is the throttle. If you take a look at Farmar here moments ago.
And he makes his team go. This is a shot by Farmar, and I guarantee you, when that ball went through, you talk about a sigh of relief from this young guy. Remember, he was in the D-League last year, played a game here at the Staples Center, later on played that night for the Lakers. Smush Parker was their starting point guard for 78 games last year. Farmar comes in late, ends up starting a couple games, and is their starting point guard against Steve Nash last year in the playoffs. That's how quickly things went for him last year.
Lakers by 6. Dave, what do you have?
Well, guys, you know Jordan Farmar has struggled obviously offensively, but there's not much sympathy coming from the LA coaches. They've told him, look, Derek Fisher's 33 years old. If you want to be the heir apparent at point guard, you got to show us something besides offense. You can play defense, you can rebound, you can do other things besides score to help this team out during these playoffs, guys.
And that comes with maturity in this league. Thank you, Dave. Here is Okur watching Gasol, who started 2 of 3. Intercepted by Millsap. Both teams turning it over. Sloppy play early. Gasol came out on Williams. Now Farmar takes over the defensive duties and the shot clock at 9. Williams, a 2.
See, Darren Williams feels like he can score on Farmar at any time, and that's what discourages Jordan Farmar. When he gets attacked on the defensive end and then he's not scoring on the offensive end, it deflates him, and that's what he's got to fight through. That's what Phil Jackson and his staff is looking for. Fight through and continue to compete.
Over Williams, Farmar. Hacked away by Turioff. Hacked in by Gasol. Rejected by Millsap and picked up by Farmar. Gasol inside. Millsap defending. Gasol inside. Millsap defending again, and a foul call. That may be number 3 on Millsap. With 8:25 to play in the second quarter, Millsap has 3.
They're playing soccer, baby. Pops is banging this, right? I feel for you like I love you.
Thank goodness he can play basketball. Good news if you're a Jazz fan. The officials converged after the initial call on Millsap. They have changed the foul to Kyle Korver, so he picks up his second. Millsap still has 2 with 8:25 to play here in the second quarter. Doug, this turnover thing has become our focus tonight for a variety of reasons, one of which you've already touched on. Utah's not fast enough to recover when they turn the ball over.
Well, both of these teams thrive on shooting a very good percentage because they handle the ball well and they have a high assist, low turnover ratio. When you look tonight, Kevin, both teams are shooting well. 52% for Utah, a little over 52% for the Lakers, but 10 assists, 9 turnovers that have led to 13 points for Utah, 8 assists, 7 turnovers that have led to 12 points for the Lakers. So I think both coaches would like to see their team settle down and do a better job executing their offense because they're shooting the ball well when they're getting shots.
Okur 1 of 2, including the 3. And away from the ball, there was a foul. A lot of congestion inside that lane with 8:15 to play in the second. And the foul goes on Kyle Korver, who picks up number 3. And Brewer is going to check in, and Boozer will now come in for the Utah Jazz. Korver will take a seat.
Well, again, this is one of those games, if you're Jerry Sloan, if your bench guys are struggling a little bit, you've got to go back to your key guys. Boozer back on the floor with Okur. Harpring still out there now in the place of Kirilenko, and both starting guards are back on the floor.
Millsap will take the seat for the Utah Jazz. Odom setting the screen. Vujacic guarded by Brewer. Gasol over Okur. A rebound by Boozer, who had 12 the other day in Salt Lake City. Fisher is watching Williams.
It's a tougher matchup for Okur because Odom is quick enough to chase him off that jump shot.
Williams to Brewer, guarded by Vujacic. Shot clock is down to 5. Wild looking pass and a good catch by Harpring. Brewer loses the ball. Kobe has it. Harpring defending, and Williams too. Another Utah foul.
That's one of those plays where you'd have been better off to get a 24-second shot clock violation because at least the ball would have been side out of bounds. Kobe picks the ball up, and this is great defense by the Los Angeles Lakers. They are really, look where the Utah Jazz are trying to run their offense. I mean, they're always almost pushed out to half court. Kobe Bryant is going to get to the line here, and this will be his, third and fourth free throws of the night.
Harpring picks up his first personal foul, and here is this season's MVP at the line. From complete replays of Inside the NBA to exclusive interviews with NBA superstars to the best analysis anywhere on the web, visit TNT Overtime at NBA.com, where 40 games and 40 nights live every day and every night.
You see what the Lakers have done now. They're going to a little bit more of a speed team. They've got Kobe now playing at the small forward position against Kirilenko, and they're going now with Derek Fisher and Vujacic at the guard. So this is the versatility of Kobe Bryant.
Radmanovic, who had 10 in the first quarter, still on the bench. Okur left wide open. Everyone was down low. The rebound by Kobe Bryant, who collects his first of the night. Kirilenko greets him defensively at the other end. Vujacic over Brewer, late arriving. Vujacic has had a nice series. That is another 3 by the Lakers. Vujacic is number 6 in three-point shooting in these playoffs in the NBA.
Oh, he's the one guy off the bench that has played well for the Lakers. There's Darren Williams with a miss, but Carlos Boozer with the follow-up. But Vujacic playing with a sore toe really bothered him in game 3. He did come back in game 4 and play much better. He had 11 points off the bench, 3 of 5 from the three-point line, and played 25 minutes in game 4.
Odom wheels inside on Boozer. Gasol was hit in the face. Okur grabs the loose ball as Gasol tries to clear the cobwebs. Okur picks up his first.
See what happens though. The Carlos Boozer can't guard Lamar Odom. He's just too quick, and so it's, Okur can't guard him. But what ends up happening is Odom guards Okur, who won't post up, and Gasol will play Carlos Boozer to take away his post up. So that's sort of what you're seeing, what we call that cross matching, where you don't guard the guy that's guarding you. And it's a tough matchup for Carlos Boozer. If I'm Lamar Odom, I try to get him out on the floor and try to drive him as much as I possibly can.
Here is Fisher over Williams. Derek Fisher continues his very efficient game. 2 of 2 from the field. He's got 7 points. Yeah, those cross matchups can be confusing, can't they?
Especially if you've got speed in your lineup, which is what the Lakers have.
Williams out to Okur, blows by Bryant outside. C.J. Miles has just checked in, and his pass right through the hands of Kirilenko. Another Utah turnover.
When you play defense, what you'd like to do is speed up the offense. Kevin, you would like to get teams playing faster than they want to play, and that's what's happened here with Utah tonight. The defense and the speed and the quickness of the Lakers. The Jazz are playing out of sync. They're playing too quickly. That's why they have all these turnovers.
Good screen by Gasol. Open the door for Vujacic. Bryant. Fisher. By Williams. And off to Gasol. Shoved from behind and a foul. It is rugged inside that lane. Pretty good three-point shooting tonight, Doug, by the Los Angeles Lakers. They've knocked down 6, Utah 2, so plus 12 above the arc for L.A.
And the speed difference right now is what's all about right now for the Lakers. They're getting in the lane at will.
Doug, a pretty significant portion, a pretty significant percentage of LA's points have come off turnovers tonight.
Yeah, 33%. They have 15 points off turnovers of their 45. And, you know, when they've missed shots in this quarter as well, Kevin, they have gotten the offensive rebound. They've missed 8 shots in this quarter. The Lakers, they have 6 offensive rebounds. So it's been the turnovers for the Jazz, 5 in this quarter. The Jazz are shooting 3 for 10. And the Lakers, when they're missing shots, they're getting multiple opportunities, and that's why they've been able to push out to this 11-point lead.
Lakers from the free throw line, 12 of 13, Utah 5 of 7. Williams, Boozer, Karolinko, Okoro, C.J. Miles, the Utah 5. Utah shooting 50%. The drive by Williams inside into Kobe Bryant. And it comes at 5:41 to play in this second. Kobe picks up number 2. Lakers out there, Fisher, Gasol, Odom, Vujacic, and Kobe. Williams at the free throw line. I said this before, we didn't get a chance to really touch on it, but the throttle thing you have labeled Williams with, I like that. And he means a lot to this team, and a lot spins off his play.
Well, you heard Jerry Sloan when he talked to David Aldridge. He said, I have no problem us pushing the ball because it gives Darren a chance to get to the basket. If not, we get into our offense. We have more time on the shot clock. Tonight, though, they have been out of rhythm. Credit the Lakers' defense for that, forcing turnovers. And, Kevin, this reminds me a little bit of the game 1 tonight. Cleveland was in control. Looked like Boston was really struggling, and Boston made a great run to end that half that turned that game around in their favor. So let's see what happens here in the last 5.5 minutes of this half.
Kobe to Gasol, a little pick and roll inside. Again, they're getting inside, as you mentioned, Doug, and they beat Boozer inside. Gasol with 9 points, all of them coming in this second quarter.
This is a guy right here that's got to go to work. He's got to get Odom down in the post if Odom's going to guard him, because Odom wants to take away that jump shot on the perimeter.
Okoro, 1 of 3, and there you go, right over Odom. It's Okoro knocking it in. He's had a terrific series and a terrific playoff for the Utah Jazz.
He's improved his post game. Used to, he wouldn't go down to that block, but that's where he's got to get better so that when they put a smaller player on him, he can post him.
Miles picks up the foul with the bump into Sasha Vujacic. That's the first on CJ. Little two-man game here with Kobe picking up the assist, Doug, his second tonight.
That's that little vaunted little action off of that triangle where you had the little, they call it the squeeze with Kobe and Lamar Odom. Kobe gets the ball back, and then a little slip as Gasol goes to the basket. So that's Tex Winter's got to be smiling. He's the architect of this triangle offense, and when plays like that happen, it puts a real smile on Tex's face. There he is right there sitting behind Brian Shaw.
You began the night by saying you could gauge how Kobe's back and his condition is by his free throws and his shot selection. I think he's answered a lot of those questions already.
Yeah, and I think what happened was I think he really came out on purpose and gave his team a dose of confidence by hitting his first few shots. Like, guys, I'm okay. We're going to win tonight.
Williams to Boozer. Boozer to Karolinko. Vujacic comes up with the loose ball. Here comes Odom. 13 turnovers by Utah. Odom finds his way into Boozer. What a spectacular playoff series Lamar Odom has had. He is averaging 18 points and 12 rebounds a game against the Jazz. Williams slips it into Karolinko. And it was again by Karolinko. 3-on-3, Kobe.
He saw Jerry Sloan and tried to throw it to him, and Fish had not quite gotten there yet. But, I mean, 18 points off 14 turnovers. I know we keep beating this, but that's the game because Utah does not have the speed to get back in the open court and play the Lakers.
Williams tries to take it in. They switch on defense. It was Fisher. Now it's Kobe on Deron Williams. It's Okoro. Odom defending a 3. Good, his second tonight by the player from Turkey, Mehmet Okoro, who now is put in 8. Again, all registered in this second quarter.
Remember I talked about him getting off to a slow start, though, because he missed 2 days of practice. Jerry Sloan said he's a practice guy, and you can see as he's starting to break a sweat here.
Williams with the steal, and Karolinko vacuums it in. Utah down 51-44. They've never led. They've trailed by as many as 12. Quickly Gasol at the other end. Fisher 2 of 2. Raises one inside to Odom. What a pass by Fisher with his first assist tonight. And Odom has 9.
Well, you only throw a pass like that if you've got confidence a guy can catch it, and that was a great catch. I mean, you know, Kevin, you do NFL football and you see these quarterbacks, you can tell who they trust by when they throw passes that are well defended. Well, that was a well defended play, and Odom just made a great catch.
Threaded the needle. Miles shed Vujacic and climbs over Odom and drops the sledgehammer.
Woo! C.J. Miles. Normally I see him shooting that lefty three, that little feathery jump shot. That time he went right to the basket.
Out of the NBA DL, drafted out of high school from Dallas, Texas, where he was the Texas High School Player of the Year as Kobe takes it inside and he loses it, and he has a turnover.
Remember now, he hasn't practiced either, so we've talked about as great as players are, when you take some time off, you lose a little bit of not only the conditioning, but that feel. There's Lamar Odom once again. That Carlos Boozer, as hard as he tries, just doesn't have that kind of speed. And here's Odom once again.
Finishing quarters here, Duke. Doug.
You call me Duke.
I'll call you Duke.
I answered anything.
The Duke. But that is an important factor for these two teams, especially L.A.
Well, L.A., I think, has dominated this first quarter, but they've turned it over 10 times now. It's led to 17 points, so that's really been the story for both teams.
C.J. Miles over Vujacic, who's come off the bench and provided some nice play. Korver has got 3 fouls, so we're seeing some more time for Miles.
So that really makes a coach feel and look good when you put a guy in a game like that and he responds as well as C.J. Miles. Has another turnover there. Both teams are trying to force plays, Kevin, that aren't there. They're trying to make that hero play that Doc Rivers talked about the other night. Just make the simple play, especially under pressure.
See the Jazz run. It's Boozer curling inside on Odom, who grabs the loose ball. Utah had hit 6 straight before that miss. Vujacic, Williams with a fire. Rebound by Odom, knocked away by Boozer, picked up by Miles. Vujacic will tail him. 2 minutes to play. Odom against Williams.
Wow, what a move.
Wow, I should say so as he dances for 2.
That hurt my cruciate ligament.
That was a great 1-2 step there by Darren Williams. Now with 10, Brewers got 10. The only 2 Utah players in double figures. 11 for Bryant and Radmanovich, who hasn't seen time off the bench since the first quarter with 10. Vujacic over Miles, missing the triple. A rebound by Okur.
Kobe Bryant isn't even looking to shoot over those last 7 minutes. Here's Williams looking for the long 3 that would have tied this game.
Kobe with his 2nd rebound. He's got 4 turnovers, a great feed. Kobe with his 3rd assist, and Gasol pumps it down. He's got 11.
Well, Darren Williams looked over to Jerry Sloan and said, that's my fault. He took the long 3, and then he didn't protect the backcourt, and there's just no way Okura can run with Gasol.
Karolinko to Boozer. Boozer crashing into Gasol, and a foul with a minute to play here in the 2nd quarter. Foul goes on Pau Gasol, number 1. Watch the dance by Darren Williams and the subsequent deuce. Here is a team, Doug, in Utah that has not won in this building this season. And you've taken teams into buildings as you've been a coach and as a player. I mean, I would assume mentally, psychologically, that begins to play with you just a little bit.
Yeah, every time, if you go to a building and every time you leave that building, you lose.
Right.
I mean, you get those thoughts walking into that room as much as you would like to try to keep that out of your head. That's why it's so important, you know, to be able to win on the road during the regular season, even if it's, you know, you go in and you beat a team, just the feeling. We've walked in that building, we've walked out a winner, and you can carry that feeling into the playoffs. And right now, that's why I said if the game gets close, Utah thinks they can win, but you better believe you can win. And I think Jerry Sloan feels very good because the guy with the ball in his hands, Darren Williams, feels strongly that they can win here.
There are no fouls to give. Fisher to Gasol. Gasol spinning on Okur. Pau Gasol, 5 of 9. Dunked every one of his 13 points in the 2nd quarter.
Well, they're going to him in the paint now. He was sort of lost there early in the game when things were coming easy. Now they're giving him some paint catches, and he's delivering. That's why they traded for him.
They double Williams. Great defense by Fisher. Here comes Kobe against Okur. Kobe Bryant has got 13. That's the first field goal from Kobe since midway through the first quarter. Miles guarded by Vujacic. Into Williams, crashing into Odom, and a foul on the Lakers.
I tell you what, you know, we talk about the games within the games. And, you know, obviously when you're playing Kobe Bryant, that's a battle. But Derek Fisher and Darren Williams, watching them work off the basketball, Darren Williams trying to get the ball. He makes a nice backdoor cut. But, I mean, Derek Fisher is fighting him every step of the way. He knows this is, and Greg Popovich, he always calls the point guard the guy, the head of the snake. And he knows that for them to win, the Lakers to win, he's got to do a good job in trying to control Darren Williams.
Odom with his second foul. Williams 4 of 4 from the line. And this July, the #1 cable series of all time returns to TNT. The Confession with Kira Sedgwick is the closer. Watch new episodes beginning this July on TNT. We know drama. It is not very funny. Corey Reynolds, one of the stars of the closer, is here. Enjoying the game with about 21,000 others. This place is rocking tonight. 21 seconds to play here in this first half. And Doug, let's step back. Some residual thoughts of what you've seen.
Well, it could be the first time in 3 games in here that Utah is not down by double digits going in a half. This is a big stop right here. Psychologically, to be only down 5 rather than 7 or 8.
Kobe is 4 of 7. The switch on defensive core doubles with Karolinko. The look-away pass. Kobe inside to Odom. Gasol has had a monster second quarter with 15 points. A second to play. Karolinko good at the goal. Pau Gasol, the recipient of another Bryant pass. Kobe with 13. 10 for Radmanovich, all in the first quarter in 10 minutes. But Gasol with 15 points, and here you can see the halftime leads by LA against Utah in this series.
And the Jazz have never led tonight. And remember now, in the last 35 minutes of each game, there's been no lead changes in this series. The team that has taken the lead has gone on to win. And there's David Aldridge is over with Pau Gasol.
The offensive glass, even though you had a lot of turnover.
Yeah, we got to be aggressive, and I think we were aggressive from the beginning of the game. We just we stopped executing at times, and that's what led to turnovers and led to easy scores for them.
How have you guys been able to compensate? Kobe obviously looks somewhat limited in what he can do. He got to a couple of baskets early, but then backed off a little.
I think just by being at home and having that energy of the crowd in us, I think that's what's helping us a lot.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
See you in the second half.
Execute under pressure. It's going to go up 3-2 tonight.
Just took a look at our Dodge game summary, and here we go. It's Brewer across the lane, slashing into the defense of Fisher, and a foul called on Derek Fisher. Now he is out there defensively with Odom, Gasol. Radmanovich is back in. Kobe and, of course, Fish. Here is Brewer at the free throw line for Utah. Okur joining him with Boozer and Williams and Karolinko. 10 on the floor to begin the second half. Brewer has really scored the ball well tonight now, Doug. In 12 minutes, 11 points.
I think if you look on the other side of that, Vlade Romanovich, you could say the same thing for him after really slumping really this entire series. He had 10 points on 4 or 5 field goals. He had a couple threes. So he had 10 points, a little over 9 minutes. So let's see if these guys can pick up where they left off in the first half.
Fisher had picked up his first foul. Here comes Kobe Bryant, picked up by the defense of Karolinko. Gasol and Okur. Shot clock at 8. Screen by Gasol. The miss by Fisher. And picked up on the play by the Utah Jazz. It's Boozer by Kobe and into Radmanovich.
Darren Williams mishandled that ball, and actually Boozer was running behind him and gets an easy basket. So a very good start here for the Utah Jazz, getting back-to-back field goals.
Kobe is 4 of 7. Then Karolinko on him, and Gasol will set a screen. The switch, Okur with a little flash. It's Fisher over Williams, who lets him fire, and Fisher hits again. 3 of 4. Utah, by the way, going back to the second quarter on a 19-12 run. Fisher on Williams. Odom on Okur.
See, it's tough for Okur to spot up and get those jump shots to get Odom because he's so quick he can run him off that line.
Shot clock at 4. Fisher watching Williams. Look at him work for that shot. Look at him work for that shot.
He's so strong because Derek Fisher's got that strong, compact body, and he bumped Darren Williams. Looks like he was totally off balance. I don't know how he made that shot.
Williams with 14. Kobe, Radmanovich open. Late arriving Brewer. A 3 launched. Rebound by Okur. Rebounding advantage 5 for the Utah Jazz over Los Angeles. Karolinko. Kobe lets him fire. Rebound by Odom. He's been tough Rebounding tonight and in this series now with 6 rebounds. Fisher over Williams for 2. Rebound by Odom. He throws it away. Karolinko's got it. Brewer and Karolinko on a 2-on-1. Finished well as Karolinko continues to score. Now with 8 points, Doug, in 18 minutes.
And we've talked about we've had no lead changes in the last 35 minutes of any game in this series. Let's see if Utah Jazz can be the first team to do it.
Gasol 6 of 10.
Well, I've never seen two teams so sloppy in a game like this. I mean, the passes are all being deflected. I mean, give some credit to the defense.
Williams watches Kobe across the lane, and Kobe, working with that bad back, was fouled on the play with 9:23 to play here in the third quarter. Okur, David Aldridge picks up number 2. What do you got?
Well, guys, as you would imagine, that's all they talked about in Utah huddle was turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. Assistant coach Phil Johnson said there's just too many of them. Thought their defense was pretty good, but offensively they just never got into sync because they were going too fast, just like Doug Collins said. So what they're going to try to do in the second half, go to the old standby screen and roll and try to slow this game down, guys.
Well, you know, David, just to follow up on those turnovers, there's different kinds of turnovers. And in that first half, of the 15 turnovers, the Lakers had 9 steals, and those are live ball turnovers, which means now the ball is staying in the court, and now you're out running. And we talked about the Jazz cannot match that kind of speed, so you're better off with a dead ball turnover. At least get your defense set and get back defensively.
As you just saw the turnover story, Kobe from the free throw line has gone 6 of 6, and here is Karolinko finding Boozer, picked up by Gasol. Boozer from the floor, 3 of 6. Kobe the other way, 4 of 7. Karolinko reaching in, grabbing the ball, and the foul. Andre Karolinko picks up number 2. You said something, Doug, interesting at the meeting this morning about Kobe being a volume shooter. He forces others to answer. He puts up a lot of shots.
Well, you want to make him a volume shooter. You do not want to allow him to get 38 points on 16 shots. You want him to have to get 30 points on 25 shots. That's when you feel like you've done a decent job. And in the 2 games here, he's been averaging over 2 points per shot.
Odom into Boozer. And by Okur.
Averaging over 2.1 shots tonight, per shot tonight. So just to put that in perspective, Kevin, in game 4 the other day, took 33 shots to get 33 points. That's 1 point per shot. Tonight he's at 2.1 per shot. The Jazz will not beat him if he's shooting that kind of efficiency.
Karolinko into Odom. He picks up the foul. And here, Doug, as we take a look at this, extends what you're talking about as the 3rd foul went on Odom of Los Angeles.
Well, you see 72 points on 34 shots. He shot a high percentage. He got a lot of free throws. So every time he took a shot, it was worth 2.1 points to his team. And the 2 losses on the road, 1.3. So all of a sudden you get that number down. And now you get into that range where you're making him take a lot of shots to get a lot of points. And tonight you see where he is tonight, right on pace where he was in the first 2 games when the Lakers were successful.
Like Odom took one to the chops, and so Gary Vitti is going to go over there and assist him. A little bit of blood has been drawn. Karolinko will be at the line.
Looked like the back of Karolinko's head caught him right on the chin. Remember now, Ronnie Price in game 4 was taken out of the game on a flagrant foul, flagrant 2, of which Ronnie Turioff was ejected, played over a little over 4 minutes in that game, was not suspended for this game. Obviously, we saw him play in the first half, but they really missed him. Price got 4 stitches in that game and then came back, had a good start of that 4th quarter, had a big block shot on Luke Walton. They felt really energized his team.
Let's take a look at our national TV schedule tomorrow. ESPN, the Hornets at the Spurs, game 6. Begins at 8 o'clock Eastern. Sunday, ABC. Cleveland-Boston game 7 or the Eastern Conference Finals game 1. Regardless, the coverage begins on ABC at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Free throw attempts tonight. Utah with 15, the Lakers with 17. Karolinko at the line for the first time with his 8 points in 20 minutes. You want to come out, Doug, with energy on the road, and we've seen that by Utah, but you've labeled it frenetic as opposed maybe to constructive energy.
Well, there's different kinds of energy. Energy where you're getting tired, and energy when you're making things happen. And I thought that Utah used up a lot of wasted energy in that first half, as did the Lakers when they were playing out of control. And both these teams playing very rhythmic offenses, and when you speed them up, that's when you get them out of sync.
Both teams identical at the free throw line. Gasol is screened for Radmanovic. It's over Brewer. The rebound by Okur. He grabs his 4th rebound. Look at Williams sifting through traffic on the fly. Lets it go, and a foul. As Turioff has come in for Odom. And with 8:14 to play here in the 3rd quarter, it's Derek Fisher with the foul. He picks up number 2. Last time you and I were here, game 2, Williams had struggled in the first half and then turned the key in the second half.
He did. I thought that maybe he gave Derek Fisher a little bit too much respect in the first three halves of those first 2 games. And then in the second half, he just started taking the ball to the basket. And you can see what's happened since then. He had 22 of his 25 points. So to me, that was the silver lining in the Jazz loss in game 2 when they went down 0-2, is that Darren Williams got aggressive. And when he's aggressive, it makes his team so much better.
Williams guarding Fisher. Kirilenko then filled the slot when Fisher went down. Radmanovic shakes Brewer. Well, there was not very good help defense, not very good switching and rotation on that play defensively for Utah.
Well, what happened when Derek Fisher fell down, then everybody's scrambling, trying to catch up, and Radmanovic took advantage of that.
Under 8 to play here in the 3rd. Turioff now comes up with a brush of defense on Williams, who sets a screen for Brewer. Now back to Williams for 3.
Wow.
Bullseye!
Man.
Darren Williams puts it in. He's been a terrific 3-point shooter in this series. Our first tie of the game at 69. We've not had a lead change in this series. Gasol into Okur. Rebound by Darren Williams. 3-on-3. Fisher there. How did he get that ball inside to Brewer, who is clocked? And oh, he traveled. He traveled inside. Good. May have been.
Well, Darren
Look
Williams,
at this.
man, he's wheeling and dealing right now like he's back in Texas playing in high school. Look at this pass. I don't know how it got through there, and the little shuffle of the feet by Ronnie Brewer, chance for Utah to take the lead.
Odom in for Turioff. Utah has started this quarter on a 15-8 run. It's Radmanovic. Rebound by Okur. Outlet goes to Brewer out of Arkansas.
Got to be real careful here with Okur. He loves to knock down a 3 in this possession right here. Look out.
Loading one up over Gasol. Missing the 3 and picked up. You called it, Doug. Radmanovic the rebound. Bryant the other way. 4 of 7. Pounded defensively by Williams. Oh, foul. Kobe and Bryant for the 2. He battled him as much as he could, and Kobe, bad back and all, has put in 17, a Laker high 17.
Well, you're going to see Kobe go to work here. I think he's starting to get a sense that his team is going to need him to score a little bit more. Look for him to go to work here now in the last 6 minutes of this period.
Williams by Gasol with the pass to Kirilenko. The rebound by Radmanovic, his 2nd of the game. Off to Kobe, slashing by Williams, lost the ball. Approaching 6 to play in this 3rd. Kobe.
Kobe's really mishandled that ball some tonight again, Kevin. I think you see a little rust from not practicing for a couple of days. Beautiful pass here, though.
Kobe Bryant picks up his 5th assist. Odom, his 13th point. And the Lakers have gone up 73-69.
Well, you saw Utah had 3 chances to take the lead. Okur had a 3. Brewer walked on a play, and then Kirilenko missed a layup. So they've not taken advantage of some opportunities here in this period.
Gasol is on Boozer.
Wow, what a
Tip
tip
in. No one blocked out Ronnie Brewer, who has scored well with 14 points. 19 by Williams, leads all scorers in the game for Utah.
That's why Utah's got to get shots at the basket. They're such a good offensive rebounding team, Kevin. They had 25 offensive rebounds in game 1.
Gasol, 6 of 11, picked up by Okur. Doubled by Kirilenko, knocks the ball away, and picked up by Darren Williams. Odom now on Williams. Williams has seen different faces every time down the floor, it seems, and Boozer with the mismatch on Fisher, and the rebound by Odom.
They just built the wall around Boozer. Fisher was guarding him. 3 guys collapsed on him.
Odom to Gasol. Okur is there. Rebound Odom, knocked away by the hustling Brewer. Brewers had a terrific game for Utah.
You better buckle up your chin strap in this game, because I tell you, bodies are flying. You understand the importance of this game. The team that wins this game goes up 3-2. And Kobe once again looking for Lamar Odom inside. That quickness just too much for Okur. The Lakers continuing to hold off Utah, but only with a 2-point lead.
Only one turnover this quarter after, as you said, the 15 turnovers in the first half for his Jazz.
Well, if you get shots at the basket, then you get a chance for offensive rebounds. That's something that Utah's done very well in this series.
Here's Gasol, back to Radmanovich, picked up by Brewer. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Gasol works on Okur. Gasol 6 of 12. Radmanovich had a hand on it. Okur pulls it down, grabbing his 5th rebound. Darren Williams the other way, slips it to Brewer, into Odom, off to Boozer, with the hockey assist coming from Darren Williams.
Well, it's going to be very interesting now, Kevin. We talked about how important both of these benches are. Well, pretty soon here, both these coaches are going to have to go to their bench, and that's when this game can turn. So let's keep our eye on that here in the last 4 minutes of this quarter.
You just saw the assist leaders. Kobe trying to slip it in for Odom. Kobe, Karolinko came out to close, and Kobe with the drive, and he couldn't get up, and a foul called on the play. The back is an issue. He almost seems, Doug, and you know, it's hard to tell sometimes with this guy, maybe laboring just a bit more in the second half than the first, as Mehmet Okur picks up his 3rd personal foul for the Utah Jazz.
Well, this is the most aggressive move he's made tonight. He went up and tried to dunk this basketball. We saw him, and I think it was game 3 in Utah. He drove on Karolinko and had a tremendous dunk, and then in game 4, we saw him get a couple shots blocked where he didn't have that kind of lift in the 4th quarter. So Kobe goes to the line and misses the free throw, and we can see here the balance of this team. Kobe did a lot of his work early, came out and hit a couple shots early in this game to get his team off to a good start. Both free throws missed by Kobe Bryant. Remember, he was 21 of 23 in game 1. That was the difference in that game.
Kobe averaging 35 points in this series with Utah. Averaged 33 in the series in the sweep over the Denver Nuggets inside Karolinko. He was battling Odom. It's a rebound by Millsap, who just checked in the game.
No new shot clock here because that ball didn't hit the rim. It's going to be a blocking foul on Luke Walton.
Walton had just come in for the Los Angeles Lakers. Radmanovich exits and sits on the bench of Phil Jackson. First foul goes on Luke Walton.
There we go. Now we're getting to the bench here, Kevin.
Yep,
Millsap
right,
is
Doug.
in the game, and Luke Walton. So let's see what happens now. We talk about benches normally playing better at home, and that was the story in game 4. The Utah Jazz bench 39-16, plus 23.
You just see the Jazz bench plus 2 tonight. Kobe is on Brewer and lets him fire. Rebounded by Lamar Odom, his 9th with 13 points. Millsap is on Odom. Galloping inside, Odom is called as he drives in, and a foul is on, I think, Millsap at the 3:21 mark, and now he picks up his 3rd, as Odom was aggressive on the plate. Now, Doug, when Kobe is defending a guy like Brewer, often tonight he is not closed. He's given that gap to fire. Brewer has answered with shots. Is that back related, or is that just defensive strategy?
No, that's defensive strategy. All the shots that Ronnie Brewer made have either been tip-in layups or dunks. And what you do is you back off of him, because now he can't throw the ball in the post. There's no spacing to throw the ball in the post. So you want Brewer to take that jump shot. Kobe was laying in the lap of Carlos Boozer in the post, so you couldn't throw it in there.
Odom from the line, a perfect 5 of 5. Lakers as a team, 17 of 21. Jazz from the line, 17 of 19. Here comes Utah shooting 50%. Lakers shooting 51%. Karolinko to Boozer, who is 4 of 9. He's guarded by Gasol. Great defense by Gasol, and Lamar Odom with the block. Odom has had a terrific series. Fisher intercepted by Karolinko. Another turnover by LA, number 14.
Those long arms of Andre Karolinko.
Kobe watching Williams. Stepped out of bounds. We've seen that a lot.
Well, Utah is going to look back right here, and Kevin, and we're getting ready to go to Dodge in the city. Well, they're dodging a bullet here right now because they've turned the ball over. They had some chances to take the lead, and they have not been able to do it.
Yeah, my message to them is just enjoy it. You know, this is what makes the game fun, is the pressure. You know, that's when it becomes extremely enjoyable, is when the stakes get heightened a little bit. So it's like playing poker. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna bluff with a pair of twos. But only we don't have a pair of twos. We got a little bit more than that.
Speaking of famous poker players, there's Phil Ivey. He does his around the table. Kobe does his on this floor. Maybe a better sense, you think, Doug, of Kobe trusting his teammates this year and even in these playoffs?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I mean, I think that's why he was the MVP this year. Everybody knows his great talent. But what he's done with his team all year long. Remember now, they had Bynum early. He went out with an injury. They did not have a Gasol for a while. So, I mean, Kobe has had to sort of do 2 or 3 different things at different times this year based on what his team has needed based upon the personnel. And he's been brilliant all year long.
Harpering for Karolinko, defensively for Utah. Bryant trying to squeeze inside with Millsap and Brewer defending right there for the Utah Jazz. It comes with 2:31 to play in this third quarter. Brewer picks up his second. Walton, Kobe, Fisher, Odom, and Gasol. The Laker 5, and here's Kobe Bryant at the line where Doug, he is 6 of 8 from the field, 5 of 8.
He just went to the line and missed his last 2 free throws. Looks to me like Jerry Sloan is resting Andre Karolinko here now. I think he wants him fresh for the finish. If this game is close, I think he wants Karolinko on Kobe, because Ronnie Brewer has really struggled tonight with Kobe. And I think Karolinko's size and range and quickness is who Jerry Sloan wants on him at the end of this game, especially if it's close.
Kobe with 18, the rebound by Boozer. Kobe's 18 leading Los Angeles. 19 by Deron Williams is a game high for Utah.
That screen roll game that David Aldridge talked about, Jerry Sloan said they were going to try to calm themselves down.
Over Odom, it's Boozer. Knocked away by Kobe. Retrieved by Harpering. A look-away pass to Brewer, who again infiltrates the middle and slams it down for his 16th point tonight.
Just get the ball up on the rim, and the Jazz are going to try to mash you on those boards, and that's exactly what happened again on that play.
LA has not scored, Doug, from the field in the last 4 minutes, as Harpering was defending and picks up his second personal foul. 1:58 to play in the third.
See, I just don't think you can crowd Kobe Bryant like that, especially when you're in a penalty, because he is so smart. He's going to create contact, and Matt Harpering does not have the kind of quickness to get his body up into Kobe Bryant. I know that's the way he likes to play, but he cannot body up on Kobe Bryant. Kobe is too smart, and he's going to get to the foul line. See the free throw attempts and wins and losses, and the field goal attempts. Look in the wins, he's only taken 17 shots, and the losses almost 27. Tonight he's sitting on what, 8 field goal attempts, so that bodes well. He's 9 of 12 from the line tonight, so he has 20 points on 8 field goal attempts. I would say that's great efficiency.
Absolutely. Harpering took advantage of a Millsap screen. Walton got caught up in it. And Harpering will guard Kobe at the other end. Bryant the drive.
No!
9 in the quarter, and Kobe Bryant with 22 in the game.
I mean, remember we talked a while ago, you just get a sense that Kobe knows he needs to score right now. Weak rotation there by Carlos Boozer. He gets in there and gets a hand in. You've got to get back, and you've got to get your chest and shoulders in front of Kobe. That's one of those contortionist moves I talked about that you're going to see as the game goes on. I would say his back is feeling pretty well making a kind of play like that.
Boozer picked up his second. Kobe said in the Los Angeles Times that he may have, because the back was an issue in game 4, and it was really hurting, he said, that he may have made some shortcuts with passes and shots and lack of driving and settling for outside shots. Thus the 2 of 13 fourth in overtime in Salt Lake a couple days ago. I don't see any shortcuts though tonight.
No, he's in a good rhythm, and I don't think he's expended a lot of energy here yet tonight, so I expect him to be very fresh for the fourth quarter.
Price for Deron Williams, the substitution. Harpering into Odom. Walton knocked it away, out of bounds, and 17 seconds on the shot clock. The Utah Jazz shooting 50% for the field. Lakers at 52% from the floor. Williams right there with 19. 23 by Kobe is a game high. Price to Harpring. Harpring guarded by Walton. Out of bounds, shot clock at 9.
It's a good matchup there. Harpring and Luke Walton, both those guys, very similar players, very tough. Harpring likes to get in there and use that body, try to overpower his defender.
Millsap to Harpring in a hole. Walton held him. Basket will not count. Look at Phil Jackson. Clock at 1:19 to play. Jordan Farmar has come in the game for Fisher. Walton picks up his second. Down the stretch here, Doug, it's been all Kobe Bryant. 8 of the Lakers' last 12 points with Matt Harpring at the free throw line for Utah.
That's what we talked about, Kevin, when we were doing our keys. We said Kobe has got to feel out the game. Whatever he needs to do at a particular time. He got his team off to a good start. He hit the first couple baskets. Then he became a distributor, moving the basketball. Harpring knocks down both free throws. Now he senses with his team on the floor, the bench is out there, Farmar, Turioff, and Walton to go along with Odom and Kobe, that Kobe feels like he needs to score with this group.
Utah has made 16 consecutive free throws.
Utah showing a little zone on this possession.
Kobe for 3 over Brewer. Rebound by Harpring. Outlet to Price. Farmar picks him up. Under a minute to play here in the third. Brewer to Millsap. Odom defending.
It's been a tough night for Millsap. He just started out fouling, and he's not been able to stop. That's an offensive foul.
And Doug, now he has 4. And that means that Karolinko quickly shaves his warm-up and will come in off the Sherry Sloan bench. I said before, back in the first half, last time we were here in game 2, Millsap was taking the place of Boozer, who was in foul trouble. Millsap had 17 and 10.
They sure did, and they're going to miss him now as he sits down because he's a guy that brings a lot of energy.
No fouls to give either way.
Utah going back to that zone once again.
Karolinko is guarding Farmar. Brewer is on Kobe. Bryant 6 of 10. Walton for 3 over Price. Rebound by Boozer, collecting his 8th rebound tonight.
Good defensive adjustment there by Jerry Sloan. Being able to get into that zone, you prevent Kobe Bryant from driving and force either Walton or Farmer or one of those guys to shoot a jump shot.
Deron Williams getting some needed rest on the bench, closing out this third quarter. Difference of 4 seconds. Game clock and shot clock. A Boozer screen to try by Price. Slithers inside. Right by Odom and finds 2. Pretty play by Price. Final seconds. Kobe. Into Brewer, into Price, out to Farmar for 3. Good goes. That's the end of 3. What a game. We are tied for the 3rd time. Now at 81. The all-important Game 5. You're watching the NBA playoffs on TNT. Kobe Bryant with a game-high 23, and moments ago our David Aldridge caught up with Laker head coach Phil Jackson.
Bill, you said before the game you needed some of your other players to gain their confidence back. What have you seen the first 3 quarters with that?
Well, not bad. I think we got Jordan. He hit a shot. He felt better. Luke still hasn't gotten involved in the game, but we'll get there.
How concerned are you Kobe's inability to practice the last couple of days will affect his stamina down the stretch?
Well, I think it's more his ball handling skills right now than his stamina. I think he'll be all right. He'll be okay with that. That's how it affected. Right now, it's his ball handling and his skills around that.
Thank you.
Now Kobe normally rests at this time of the game. Can Utah take advantage of this with him on the bench?
Well, they better. If they want to make a little push right now, you've got Gasol in the game. I expect them to go through him in the post with this team that's on the floor.
Vujacic is in. Korver is in. He's battled foul trouble. Has Korver tonight. Farmar picked up by Williams. Shot clock down to 7. It's Gasol, who is 6 of 13. Radmanovic over a late arriving Harpring. That's a 3-point hit for Vlade Radmanovic, who has woke up in this 5th game. 6 of 10, 14 points in 18 minutes.
What a big shot that was. Looked like the clock was going to wind down, and Vlade bailed him out.
Deron Williams is back in the game. Guarded by Farmar. Rebound by Vujacic with Bolton, Radmanovic, Gasol, and Farmar. That is the Laker 5. Vujacic 1 of 5.
Play inside out once again with Gasol.
Gasol over O'Toole. Rebound by Harpring. Out there with Williams, Kirilenko, Okur, and Corver. Sets up the lineups. Start this fourth quarter.
Now Gasol's got to really pay attention to Okur. Gasol usually doesn't guard guys out on the perimeter, and that's where Okur wants to play.
Corver working off an Okur screen. Vujacic flew by. A two by Kyle Korver. Korver 2 of 4. 5 points in 8 minutes. Farmar inside. Radmanovic defended by Kirilenko. Another rebound by Okur, who has grabbed 7. Williams will dance on Farmar. Slide it inside Okur's. Shot won't go. Gasol was defending and picks up that foul for the Los Angeles Lakers. And the clock at 10:18. Okur with his second, Dave. And we know that he came into this game, David Aldridge, with an issue with his Achilles tendon.
That's exactly right, Kevin. I saw him at halftime, and I said, how you doing? He said, you know, I'm hanging in there, but this is the playoffs. I cannot afford to miss any more time. He's really, really busting it up and down the floor, but he's hurting, guys.
Lakers on top by 1. Okur, tie.
Again, you know, Kevin, you think of these great athletes. You don't have to miss a couple days. You know, it doesn't mean much or whatever. It does mean a lot. The timing, and you can see with Okur, he ties the score up. We've seen with Kobe. You heard Phil Jackson talk about him mishandling the ball and then being his ball handling being a little off. These guys are such great conditioned athletes that when they miss a little time, it affects them.
Utah has still not led in this game. Williams comes out on Farmar. Shot clock down to 10. Gasol 6 of 14. Okur is there. Farmar. Walton picked up by Harper. Shot clock at 2. Luke Walton can't get it. And a foul on Harper. You cannot believe it was just called on him.
It's a bad foul by Matt Harper. You had Luke Walton fading away at the end of the shot clock. Luke Walton, who has been struggling tonight. And even if you say you didn't hit him here, you don't even put yourself in a position to where you're even close on that play. There's no way in the world Luke Walton could have made that shot.
With 2 on the clock, it was the 3rd foul on Harper.
And Luke Walton is now really starting. He was so good in that Denver series. Kevin played so well. Here tonight, he's 0-1 from the floor. He does make this free throw, so he's 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and he's a big part of their team. That second unit, he's a facilitator. He moves that ball, and he's always in the right spot.
Williams was throwing to Korver, who was sandwiched between Radmanovic and Vujacic. The two were combining and trying to really watch Korver. And the foul goes on Vujacic for the first time at 9:43 of the 4th.
But if you're Phil Jackson, you've got to be pretty happy right now. Your team has a 1-point lead, and you're buying time for Kobe Bryant here to come in and finish this game.
Kirilenko into Williams for their first lead. Can't get it to go. It's picked up by Walton. Outlet caught by Radmanovic. Walton back by Harper. Crashes into Okur. Snaps it out to Vujacic for 3. Okur with the volleyball play, but retrieved by Radmanovic. Walton. Gasol shoved by Okur from behind.
Those loose balls, you got to come up with them in a game like this. You heard Jerry Stoll at halftime said, you know, we want to win on the road. Tonight's the night to do it. When he's talking about, Kevin, you get a game 5, much easier to break through in a game 5 than it is a game 7 if you have to come back here for that.
Kirilenko knocks it away. Shot clock at 9. Screen by Gasol. Pick and roll. Harper was defending on the play.
And that's 2 big plays the Lakers have made with the shot clock winding down. We saw Vlade Romanovic early in the quarter with a shot. That time, Pau Gasol.
Williams flies inside by Farmar. 1-point Laker lead. Williams watching Farmar at the other end. And fouled on the play was Jordan Farmar. 8:38 to play in the 4th. Jaron Williams picks up his 2nd personal foul. Farmar was cold as can be to begin this series as you see Williams slide in. But Farmar has discovered his game here in Game 5.
Well, this is found money right here for the Lakers. Jordan Farmar finds that score. He's going to go to the line and finish up a three-point play opportunity when we come back from this timeout.
Looks like that bench, thank you, David, has helped Los Angeles, Doug, in a big way with Kobe on the bench. They really filled in the gap and actually built a lead.
Well, if Farmar makes his free throw, which he does, they are +4 with Kobe resting, which is a good sign. But you can see what I was talking about. Kirilenko is back in the game right now to match up with Kobe Bryant defensively.
Kirilenko picked up by Odom in the drive. It'll be a cross match. So Odom has him on one side, and now Kirilenko will pick up Kobe at the other end. Farmar remains, and Williams on him. Farmar's got 6. Harpering is on Odom. Shot clock is at 7. Another foul. That's on Matt Harpering, who picks up number 4. Boozer will set to check in.
Well, Kirilenko quietly has had another good ball game. Little pump fake here. Watch as he's going to, and Lamar Odom bites on that, and then a lazy score, no weak side help. 12 points for Kirilenko, 5 of 10 from the floor. He's had a couple steals, a couple blocks. Played a very good ball game tonight. They're going to need him to play great defense at the end of this game on Kobe Bryant.
Boozer for Harper. Vujicic into Gasol. Okur defending. Kobe. Off the baseline and over Okur.
That's a poor defensive rotation by Utah. They ran off Kobe Bryant to run over to the top to guard Jordan Farmar. You can't leave Kobe. Then he makes the play. Utah's got to do a better job communicating.
Odom with 17 points and 10 rebounds. Darren Williams got a screen. Now he is doubled and trapped. Farmar is there and picks up the foul. Watch this last play as Kobe Bryant comes up with his 6th assist.
We see Kirilenko runs up to take Jordan Farmar. You want Jordan Farmar to take that shot. I mean, now you get Kobe running wild, and now your defense collapses, and he finds Lamar Odom. That's that communication. Kevin has an expression. You got to know your personnel. Who are you rotating to, and who are you leaving? You never leave Kobe Bryant.
Fisher checks in for Farmar. He picked up his 2nd personal foul. 7.5 to play in this 4th quarter. Williams, guarded by Fisher, scoops it out to Kirilenko. Bryant defending. Rebound by Boozer. Moves in on Odom. Kirilenko tries to save the ball. Out of bounds and off of Utah.
Now, Carlos Boozer very frustrated. The length and size of that Laker defense has bothered him. Odom and Gasol made it very difficult for him to score inside. He's 4 of 12 tonight.
Vujicic got a screen from Gasol. Rebound by Okur, number 8. Williams, he'll force the issue right into Odom. Rebound by Boozer. Picked up by Vujicic. Guarded by Kirilenko. A shove and a Kirilenko foul.
Well, Jerry Sloan is very upset. He thought that Boozer was fouled on one end, and then a big break here. It looked like the ball went off the foot of one of the Lakers, Vujicic. Watch what happens here. Looks like he kicked it out, and Tommy Washington from the other end of the floor ruled that that was a foul. Not only that, but it's in the penalty. So 6:53 here now. The Lakers are shooting free throws the rest of the way. That was a big play.
Kirilenko's got 3. 4 on Okur, 4 on Harpering, and 4 on Millsap. With Vujicic at the line, MLB action returns to TBS this Sunday at 1:30 Eastern as Prince Fielder and the Brewers. They'll take on David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox. Next Sunday, MLB on TBS.
Once again, you see what Phil Jackson has done. He's moved Kobe Bryant back to that small forward position. He loves Vujicic and Fisher on the floor with him out there. They got a good shooting team on the floor right now for the Lakers.
Gasol pounding with Boozer. That is a Gasol foul. That's 6:42 of the 4th. Los Angeles and Utah were tied at 84. Lakers have gone on a 10-4 run. And foul number 3 on Pau Gasol.
Well, Pau Gasol just does not have the strength to guard against Carlos Boozer. You can see him very upset there. Thought that Carlos lowered his shoulder. Tommy Washington ruled that he had stuck his foot out and tripped Carlos Boozer.
We've had 4 ties. Lakers have led by as many as 12. Utah has never led. Good fake by O'Cour. Snaps it over to Williams, uncovered. The closeout, he put it down. Big shot put in by Darren Williams, who tonight has gone 7 of 14. He has got a game-high 24 points.
He's playing great basketball. Guy, you think of he and Chris Paul, these two young point guards, how great they have played in the playoffs.
Gasol to Odom, who shoots the defense of Boozer. Pau Gasol comes up with his 8th assist with 17 points.
See, one of the things your big man has to do out of that triangle offense is be a terrific passer. Go through that post, and Lamar Odom, and Kevin, I've talked about this tonight. It's a tough matchup for Carlos Boozer. There's no way he can guard the speed and the quickness of Lamar Odom, but neither can O'Cour. So you need both of those guys on the floor if you're the Utah Jazz. But now you have a nightmare matchup because one of them has to guard Lamar Odom, and his speed has been too much.
It's Odom 6 of 6 from the line with 20 points and 10 rebounds. Boozer picks up his 3rd personal foul. Approaching 6 to play. Now Odom is on Williams. And Gasol watches Boozer. That's a treble by Carlos Boozer. Utah's 19th turnover. Doug, that is their postseason high.
Gasol is doing a nice job of just keeping himself in front of Carlos Boozer. He's blocked a couple shots. Carlos loves to play with his left hand around the rim. Boozer, as he went to the middle, he was shut off. Well, it's been tough for him here. He's had really one big breakout game. Game 3, 27 points and 20 rebounds. But in LA, you can see what he's done here. In Game 1, he had 7 turnovers. In Game 2, he was in constant foul trouble. Tonight, it's been a struggle as well.
Vujacic over Korver for 3. Rebound by O'Cour. He grabs on to another rebound, his 9th. Williams has got 24 with 9 assists. Bryant is on Karolinko. Korver a screen for O'Cour, who splits the defense and drives inside on Gasol. With 5:33 to play in the 4th and 7 on the shot clock. And the foul goes on Kobe Doug for the 3rd time.
The only other guy I ever remember running a set play out of a timeout to run your center off a stagger screen to get a 3, like Jerry Sloan just did, was Chuck Daly. Used to do that with like Bill Laimbeer.
How about that?
I mean, he used to run Bill Laimbeer off screens to pop him out to shoot that 3-point shot, and that's exactly what Jerry Sloan did on that play. He ran him off the baseline off 2 screens to set him up for a 3-point shot. Odom ran him off the shot, but he got fouled.
Both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. That was the 25th free throw attempt by Utah. Lakers have 32 attempts. Lakers are plus 4 points at the free throw line tonight in a 3-point game. Odom a screen. Fisher over Williams. Rebound through O'Cour and picked up by Williams. He got hit.
Fisher was never on balance on that play, Kevin. When he stopped, you could see he never got his shoulders square.
Good point. Karolinko to Korver over a fast approaching Gasol. The missed 3. The rebound by Fisher. Derek Fisher has 5 assists and 9 points. Gasol a screen. Kobe and Karolinko.
And they play him without fouling. Remember, they're in the penalty.
Odom and O'Cour. Rebound by Andre Karolinko, number 2.
O'Cour did a nice job that time. Bodying up on Lamar Odom forced him to take a tough shot.
Williams slashing inside. Picked up by Boozer. Gasol was the last line of defense on the drive by Darren Williams. Clock at 4:29. Odom picks up his 4th personal foul for the Los Angeles Lakers. And that'll send Boozer to the free throw line, Doug, where tonight he is 5 of 6.
Been very interesting here in the Staples Center.
I agree.
Both games, 1 and 2, the Lakers jumped out. And Utah found a way to climb back into it, but they never could get the lead. Here's Boozer going to the line and misses a free throw. And this has sort of been indicative of Utah here in the Staples Center. We'll see if they can get over the top, but they have not been able to do it. They've been able to get close. They've played from behind in every game and have never been able to get the lead here.
3-point game. Kobe has not taken a shot, by the way, since he returned back in the game at the 8:38 mark of this fourth quarter. Gasol and Okur. Kobe on a shove away from the ball. Fisher hit the deck hard. 4:18 here in the fourth. Foul on Kirilenko. And that is number 4 on Andre.
We talk about the importance of free throw shooting as Derek Fisher goes to the line here. Fisher shooting 86%.
Free throws and the number of free throws, the hit free throws have been a nice factor throughout the previous 4 games, and again playing a factor tonight.
Well, it was so top-heavy for the Lakers in the 2 games here.
Sure.
And then in game 4 for Utah. Tonight, the free throw shooting is relatively even. 33 attempts for the Lakers, 27 for the Jazz. But Fisher steps up and knocks down the 2 free throws.
Lakers have hit their last 7 free throws. Lakers have made 5 more points tonight at the line. Boozer from Williams around Odom. Rebound by Kobe Bryant. He's got 3 rebounds, Doug.
Carlos quick shot that ball, worrying about the defender.
Gasol. Korver got caught up in a screen. It's Vujacic. Fisher for 3 over Williams. Rebound by Okur. Number 10. Williams. Kirilenko over Odom for 3. Rebound by Kobe Bryant.
Not necessary. There's too quick a shots that time by the Utah Jazz. Remember, Jerry Sloan always talks about getting to the second part of your offense. You don't need those quick threes. Still 3.5 minutes to go.
Shot clock down to 5. Bryant and Kirilenko. Vujacic over Korver for 3. Rebound by Boozer. He's got 12 rebounds and 14 points.
Well, Vujacic has had some good looks here. I think it's a good timeout by Jerry Sloan. But you want to know if Kobe Bryant trusts his teammates? How many times have we seen him in this fourth quarter penetrate and find the open guy? He's not forcing any shots. He's counting on his teammates to knock down the shots they've made all season long.
3:07 to play. Lakers by 5 in Game 5 on TNT.
What's going to happen with the Jazz? They're going to put the ball in the hands of Deron Williams. And they're going to live and die with him making the right decisions, getting the ball either to his teammates or finding a shot for himself. In this quarter, the 2 leading scorers for the Jazz, Boozer 0 of 3, Deron Williams 2 of 6, so a combined 2 of 9. Big possession here coming out of the timeout here to see if they can get a good shot.
Korver, Williams, Kirilenko, Okur, Boozer. That's the Utah 5. Williams patrols the perimeter with Fisher on him. Kirilenko is guarded by Kobe. Lasering it inside. Boozer. He got by Gasol and a good play out of that break.
Now, well-executed play.
Vujacic, Gasol, Fisher, Lamar Odom, and Kobe Bryant on the floor right now for LA. Kobe 6 of 10. 23 points away from the ball. There's a foul.
That's a bad play by Deron Williams right in front of Tommy Washington. Just reaches out and grabs Derek Fisher. And those are the plays, you know, you're on the road, you're trying to break through against the Lakers here and get the home court advantage, maybe be able to go home and win it in Game 6 in front of your fans. I mean, you're fouling an 86% free throw shooter and putting him on the line.
Deron Williams picks up his 3rd personal foul, and here is Fisher at the line, a perfect 4 of 4 tonight. Now with 12 in 34 minutes.
Kevin, the importance of being able to guard without fouling. And Utah is a team that fouls a lot. And this now could be a free throw shooting competition coming down to the end of the game. And it's going to be tough for Utah to catch up if that's the case.
Technical foul on Vujacic, who was knocked down by Korver, and Vujacic was in Korver's ear right in front of Bob Delaney.
Well, he was talking. Yeah, he was taunting Fowler. Vujacic has been known to get a little feisty. Calls himself the machine, and you know, when you're the self-proclaimed machine, you better be able to come through here. But that's watch what happens here. Vujacic and Korver. Vujacic flops down there on that play, and as they come running down, you can't see it there, but he is talking in the ear of Kyle Korver, so he just gives up a point there. So that's not a good play.
Korver with 6.
Watch here, he's chirping right there. He's right there in front of Bob Delaney, who's telling him to stop. And he warned him. He's right in front of him.
And he kept talking.
Well, you know, the other night, Okor got a technical foul late in the game that could have cost his team the game. So right now, you can't give points away.
Williams 7 of 15. Boozer a screen. Okor, Korver, Bryant is guarding Korver into Kirilenko. The fake by Odom and Gasol and Kobe Bryant. The rebound by Okor. Shot clock at 2. It's a goal. What a shot! It's a one-point game with 2:12 to play.
What a great hustle on the offensive boards by the Utah Jazz, and an incredible shot by Darren Williams.
Utah has never led. Gasol is 7 of 15. Doubled by Korver, who goes back now on Vujic for a 3. Rebound by Gasol.
I'll give Vujic credit. He's 1 of 10 for the game, and he keeps shooting.
Bryant got a Gasol screen, goes into Okor. Lamar Odom coming off the wing has put in 22 with 10 rebounds.
Utah gets a stop, and they can't come up with a defensive rebound. And again, Kobe Bryant trusting his teammates.
Kobe with 7 assists in the game. Williams, Okor, the switch on defense. The smaller Fisher on Okor. Odom is going on Williams. Shot clock at 3 for the tie. Rebound Okor, up and down for 2.
They got caught on a switch that time. Fisher switched out so Okor could not take the 3, and then he couldn't just keep him off the boards, just too big.
Kobe still hasn't taken any shots this fourth quarter. Gasol. He's guarded by Okor. He's looking for Kobe. Shot clock. Pau Gasol with 17. Make it 19 in the game.
The importance of having a low post guy that you trust.
Williams. Okor for the tie. Rebound by Odom.
They don't need to foul here, Kevin. It's only a one-possession game.
Shot clock at 9. Kirilenko is watching Bryant. Screen by Gasol. Kobe. Vujic for 3 over Korver. Rebound Gasol.
Kevin, we've seen 3 critical offensive rebounds. One by Okor to get the score. You saw one that got one for Darren Williams. Now the offensive rebound by Pau Gasol. That could be the difference in the ball game. 5-point lead, the Lakers. 20.5 seconds to go.
When we come back from a quick break, it's Charles Schwab. Time to talk. What a game in Los Angeles. 107-102, the Lakers.
Kobe trusting his teammates. Well, I think you've seen that tonight in the game. Kobe's only taken 10 shots. He has 23 points and 7 assists. But Pau Gasol with 21, Odom with 22, Radmanovic with 15, Fisher with 13. They have 5 guys in double figures.
Kirilenko, Boozer, Okor, Williams, and Korver out there for Utah. Williams a quick 3 over Kobe Bryant. Rebound by Derek Fisher. Held by Kirilenko. 15.5 to play. And Kirilenko picks up number 5.
And the ironic thing about this game is going to be is one of the strengths this whole series for the Utah Jazz has been offensive rebounding and second chance points. And tonight, Utah made a couple critical plays where Okor got a rebound, scored. They kicked one out to Darren Williams for a 3, and he scored. But the big play, the offensive rebound by Pau Gasol, that looks like might have put the icing on this cake, although Fisher still has left this game a little bit in doubt. If he misses this, it's still a 2-possession game.
You just saw second chance points and offensive rebound to Lakers until that miss. It hit 9 consecutive free throws. Fisher at the line, 6 of 7. Now Utah has 2 timeouts and 2 20s left, and they take one right there.
And remember now, you can move the ball on a 20-second timeout. That rule changed a few years ago. You used to be able to get a 20 and not move it, but now you can move it. So still plenty of opportunities here for Utah, but they can get a score. 4
ties all this half. Last one was at 84. Karolinko to Williams, quickly double. Gasol watching the Boozer fade away. Carlos Boozer has put in 18. 10.7 to play. Kobe was getting out of the gate and off to the races when Boozer grabbed him and drew his 4th personal foul.
This is the big play. Vujacic missing the 3-pointer. Gasol goes up. Okoro tried to make it look like he was pushed in the back. It did not happen. And that could be the game decider right there, Kevin, as Kobe Bryant here steps up to the line. 10.7, only 1 20-second timeout remaining for the Utah Jazz.
Doug, we may be looking at the 19th second round home team win in 20 second round games.
And more importantly, as close as this game has been tonight, the lead never changed. I mean, the Lakers have led the entire. Now, there was a tie similar to there was in Game 4 with Utah, but this series has been such that when a team has got into the lead the last 35 minutes of the game, the other team has not been able to take the lead. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a series this close.
Here comes Williams finding Okur. It's a 2 over Odom. Rebound by Bryant, held by Korver. 3.3 to play. Kobe has gotten 12 of his 25 at the free throw line. So, Doug, tonight Kobe took 10 shots. He got 25 points.
And he's looking at possibly 27. So in the 2 games here previously to the win, he averaged 2.1 points per shot. Going to Utah, 1.3 in those 2 games. Tonight, he's looking, if he makes these 2 free throws, 2.7 points per shot if he makes these 2 free throws.
Well, you see the Bryant efficiency numbers in this second round series against Utah. Wins at home, losses on the road, and tonight the 2.6.
Kevin, that's what I talked about. When you play against Kobe, you've got to make him take a lot of shots to score his points, and in the 3 wins, that has not happened.
Karolinko has just fouled out. Karolinko has fouled out of 4 games of the 5 in the second round series.
And a lot of times it's been like in this last 2 or 3 possessions here where he's taken fouls just to stop the clock and try to keep the game moving and give his team a chance to win the ball game, try to trade that free throw game.
Here's Williams closing out the game. And the Los Angeles Lakers have beaten Utah by 7. They go up 3 games to 2 with the game looming in Salt Lake in a couple nights. Kobe Bryant tonight, bad back and all, and he was the headliner coming in as he always seems to be. 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. As Jerry Sloan has some final departing words for our officiating crew. So 26 by Bryant. Every starter was in double figures tonight for the Los Angeles Lakers, including Odom right there with 22 and 11 rebounds. Let's go to David Aldridge.
Kobe, you've said all year that you trust your teammates. This was kind of the ultimate example of that, right?
Oh, no question. No question. And, they started collapsing on me a lot, and I just had to kick it out. Just had to keep kicking it to the shooters. And, we missed a couple, but we were able to get the offensive rebound.
Exactly. The offensive rebounds in the 4th quarter. Gasol coming in through again and making big plays for you was really key.
They made huge plays. Him and Lamar both. They know exactly how to play out of our offense. And when the shots went up, they went to go get them.
How did your back hold up throughout 48 minutes?
It's pretty sore right now. The 4th quarter got a little stiff, and it was a great team effort. And my teammates really picked me up tonight.
What do you think you'll be able to do the next 2 days before Game 6?
Well, the important thing is it didn't get any worse. It's still feels pretty good. I mean, it's sore obviously, but we're treated tonight, treated tomorrow, and I should be fine by Game 6 or whatever it is.
Thank you very much, Kobe.